this is a very new one that I've done recently, pretty much the other day. And as you guys can see, it's got some interesting lights in it. So yeah, if you got any questions to go from, otherwise we'll jump right into it. I don't want to rush through everything. That's why I'm asking so much. Cool. Seem to be good. All right, let's talk about... I'm going to talk about motivation on this one first, because motivation is always fun for me. Motivation. I really wanted a shot with this beautiful Black Abyss. The original shot I want, actually, and I'm still going to get it, and I'm being honest, is I want the similar look, but model in a white jacket. And the reason we were going for the shot, this is the one I picked out of all the looks, is she's not obviously not wearing, as you can see, a top underneath. She's literally just wearing the jacket, no bra, nothing else, because I wanted like a really cool shot, and I'll still edit it. She's holding it like this, so you can see the abs, you can see everything, you can see all the hard work from the athlete, and I think it just looks very cool. So, the motivation behind it is I really wanted this awesome stadium look, which you get with stadium looking lights, which everybody knows when they look at a stadium is these big balls of light that is in the background. So that was the motivation behind it. I really wanted this proper sporty stadium look, and I was quite happy with that. Next up, camera settings. Again, f2.8. That was chosen for a reason, because if the f-stop was too high, the balls of light would not be balls of light. They would be the cylindrical hard edges. If I wanted to soften it, I wanted to make sure it's blurring out in the background, that it's actually bokeh. So I chose f2.8, and obviously as you can see, she's pretty close to the lights, because I also wanted to use them as a rim light to hit the shoulders to make sure that it's kind of wrapping around her. So I made sure she was like very close to the light. So I had to use a low aperture. Shutter speed, it was 320th of a second, just mainly to balance out all the other lights. This has not got any need for ambient light like the previous photo, because obviously it doesn't need it, and it was just to balance out the light, the same with the ISO. There's no rhyme or reason behind that. That was just to balance out the different power outputs from the lights behind her and the lights in front of her. So that is the reason for the camera settings. And then this was a 4-light setup, and mainly for 2 rim lights, one full and 1 key light. So we'll jump into which is what and all of that. Let's just do this again and close all of these things down, because I'll speak about them. All right. So, motivations, key light. Key light's right up there. Now that, again, was the CL10. I like using that light a lot, especially when you're working in these situations where you kind of need to see it. And the reason I need to see it is because really think so. Like why I need to see it. I think it's mainly I used a video light or constant light, because I was using constant lights for the balls of light in the background, so that I can see they were on. Because sometimes the flash is too powerful. But I'm not going to get into why that is, because of it's got to do with the modifiers. If the powers of the light's too strong, it could cause issues with the look of the image. So we're using the CL10, which again is this one over here. And the reason for that is I was using a Fresnel, which is this thing. Let me move it so you can see better. So this is called a Fresnel. Now this is one of my all-time favorite modifiers. And the reason for it is to get this glow of light that's not spilling over onto the background. Let's use the brush. I haven't done that in a bit. We'll use the brush. And I'll change the color of it to red. We're working with the full light. And as you can see, is this one. As you can see, it's not affecting any of the lower area. And that is because the Fresnel is projecting a ball of light. And that is what a Fresnel does. It focuses light in a parabolic shape. And that's also the reason a parabolic is called a parabolic. But a Fresnel does it in a different way. It's got to do with the way the edges of the glass is being cut and how it focuses light. So instead of like a modifier that would, and man, I love talking about lights, apparently. So the way a modifier works is it will be in this shape, and the light will come in from the inside. There's normally a diffuser in the middle and another diffuser at the end. And the diffuser in the middle is called a baffler, and it often has a very, it's got a thicker center than the outside because the light is generally coming in from the center. It's coming in this way. Right. That makes sense. And the way that normally works, and we're going to change colors here just to illustrate the light pattern. And the way that normally works is the light is coming in from the center, it's hitting this diffuser, and then it's bouncing all around here. And it's got no rhyme or reason to the direction. It's basically just, what it's doing is diffusing the light. It's unfocusing the light. So when it hits out, it goes out in pretty much all directions. It's going out in this whole shape. And that is kind of what a diffuser does. It diffuses light and then it just balls it out. And the reason I was using a Fresnel is that effect doesn't happen because I didn't want it to spill onto the background. And I didn't want it to spill onto the rest of the body. I wanted to focus the light, creating a nice hot spot in the center, making sure the brightest part is the center of the face. Now, to make it easier, I will illustrate what a Fresnel does. And the Fresnel is, I'm going to draw it out as a square because it generally is a square. And the light goes in, and it also bounces around like crazy because light has no rhyme or reason. It flows like water. And then there's a glass element in front. And this element often has ridges. So as you can see, do you see the ridges on over there? Elements often have ridges. And this light that's spreading similar to what a softbox does, instead of going out, it is focusing out in a straight channel. Now, for the interesting bit, what's cool about Fresnel, it's got a form of focusing and defocusing. So you can adjust the distance that the Fresnel is from the light. So you can move it backwards and forwards. So you can change from a narrow beam to a slightly wider beam, which often creates a little bit, it will most often have a very, very strong hotspot in the center and diffuse out to the corners. Thanks, Siri. So it will spread out softer in the corners, but you can control the amount of spread with a Fresnel. And that was a very, very, very long explanation of a Fresnel. But that is our full light. Or no, that was our key light. That's the main light that we're using. All right, next up is full, which is that little one down there, which is a very, very simple one. It was just same thing. And I think one of the questions from here is going to be, if you're using a full light, why didn't you get something that spreads? Again, I didn't want it to hit the background. So we're using a full light just to kind of get into the shadows so she doesn't completely disappear, because it's got a very hot spot in the, like on her face. And then obviously because she's wearing a black jacket and all of that, it's very dark. So we're using the full light just to kind of lift the shadows a little bit. So you can still see detail, but it's not the same brightness as the whole image or the whole person in image. So that is the full. The little TL60 just beaming up right there. Any questions? I've rambled a lot. Any questions so far? We're good. If you have questions, interrupt me. Otherwise, you'll never get answers. You gotta interrupt me. All good? That's all good. Great. I explained really well then, apparently. Okay. Next up, the room lights, which is obvious. It's very obvious. It's the balls of light that you see in the background. And they work very similar to your normal strip boxes. The effect. The only difference is we're using them in a method that is called practical lighting. And by that, I mean it's lights being used in an image as decoration, practical lights. And because they're practical, you don't have to hide them. And you can get the same room light. I don't have to add a room light in now. So, it's not much to say about them. Like I said, they work as a set, like a general room light. They're just there for also the cool effect that you see in the image. Makes sense? Cool. Happy days. Okay. Something to drink. Surprised. I thought Dave was going to ask questions about these boxes, but I think he asked the other day. So yeah. Before we move on to the next image, any questions about this image? I've got questions about this image. Things I'm not happy about. And don't let the question be what my question is. Kat, I can see it already. Don't let that question be what am I unhappy about the image. Be original, people. Be original. Okay. Okay, no worries. Then ask on your account. Jesh, we good? Brent, we good? Kim, we good? Zahid, we good? Cool. So I don't want to jump to the next image if somebody has questions about the image. This is me kind of doing a bit of a breakdown for you guys. Cool, good. Sure, Brent's good as well. Cool. Dave has some questions he can ask them, and I can always jump back if he has any questions.